Hi there, Rob Myers, Panasonic. I'm on set on Ali's wedding today with Don McAlpine. Don, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for your time. And can I first of all say congratulations on the dressmaker.
Okay.
Stunning work.
You can do that.
And thank you so much for choosing the VariCam for Ali's wedding. Might get you to tell us a little bit about how it came about.
Well, first of all, I really want to point out Panasonic, have offered me nothing, and I need nothing from them, to be blunt. But young gentleman called Sasha Hayden, bit of time and energy, started to research this particular camera and found it might suit his project, which he hoped to get going in some time in the future. And he involved me in testing it. Initially, we did a very rudimentary exposure test, and then eventually we did a strong comparative test with the three other major contenders in this professional field: the Arri, the Red, and the Sony. And of course, out of that, I decided to use it on this film. Why did I do that? Basically, I found there was virtually interchangeability using the 800 ASA between the three other cameras. They all had their strengths, they all had their weaknesses, and this was certainly not on the bottom of the list at 800 ASA, but this particular camera has the wonderful feature that it has a second ASA at 5,000, and you immediately think, oh, well, that's going to be good, but it's going to be grainy. Truth is, it's not. We've done several tests now, and last week we did the definitive test in which I sat in a lounge chair on a set, and they rolled at 800 and they rolled at 5,000 ASA, and the shots butted together, and it took absolute finicky experts to pick any difference. And when they rolled some noise eliminating software, they were certainly totally and absolutely interchangeable. Now, to me, that means that this camera represents a massive evolution in the process of digital cameras.
Don, just to interrupt for a moment, you've been using 5,000 during the day. You haven't reserved it just for the night, have you?
On Ali's wedding, I've been using 5,000 during day. I've been using 5,000 in the midst of using 800 if I wanted particularly an extra depth of field. I will switch it at any time that it becomes convenient. I'm now in the process of shooting 3 days in a mosque set for this film, and I've shot everything at 5,000 ASA. It's amazing. It means virtually you can turn on the chandeliers and get functioning light. You still have to light a scene with instruments to get quality work. It's only on rare occasions that the practical situation is the best for the scene. Most people and scenes need additional lighting, but of course with 5,000 ASA, they need an awful lot less.
Now, I also saw some stunning shots come out of Friday's shoot when we were out at the mosque on the outdoor scene at night when the clouds rolled in over the moon.
Yeah, well, I mean, the opportunities with this camera is just amazing because the other night we were at a mosque with a minaret pointing up in the sky. It was dark and there was a moon with cloud moving across it. I just suggested to the operator to point the camera at the moon to just see what had happened, and it resolved beautifully. There was a beautiful blue area of lit cloud around the moon, and extending beyond that was white cloud that was lit by the soda vapor coming up from all the street lights in the vicinity. And we used that. We came off that vision of cloud and moon to drop down onto the minaret and into a car park to continue a scene. I'll admit we pulled 4 stops because we'd in relative terms, overlit the car lot at the bottom, but I knew that after I'd seen the moon.
Yeah, can we talk about what's next for you?
Well, of course, talking about what's next in this business is always difficult, because until somebody actually signs on the line, you're never not certain. But there is the possibility of a movie stateswide, which I have actually used the argument of the Panasonic 35 as being the tool to do this job, because it involves excessive night streetscapes, and it's just the perfect camera for it. I mean, Collateral was a very interesting effort in which they used, I think I was still back on HD then, but this would just make that infinitely so much better. Street scenes are fantastic. And talking about street scenes, I did a street scene in this, in which we used the very long ends of the zoom, and it was under an awning and on a dull day. So the stop was about 800, and immediately I just boosted it up to 16.5, and it just gave so much depth to the scene on the long end of the lens, following, tracking with a group way down the sidewalk. It really did make that scene.
Terrific. Anything else you'd like to add?
I mean, I'm just finding more and more ways that I can exploit the advantages of this. It really is. I mean, the digital world was a wonderful breakthrough for me, and I regard this as the camera that really takes it away from the film world entirely. Film never ever got to 5,000 ASA, and I mean, it's a tool that obviously can be overused, but it's a tool that can be very, very well used too. Yeah, and I'm proud to say that this is the first Australian feature film in which this camera's been used, and I'm proud to be part of it.
Terrific. Don, thank you so much for your time.
Great.
Sasha, thank you for steering Don towards VariCam. Appreciate that. Thank you, Matchbox. Thank you, Michelle.
Okay.